Hey, this is Juan Montoya from Moon Destroys, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show on Hard Rock Hell Radio.
Okay, so I'm joined by Juan from Moon Destroys. How are you, Juan? You're joining me from Miami, right?
Yes, it's sunny over here. It's probably like, it's perfect. It's perfect to have a beach day, but a lot of our beaches are closed down here. I mean, further up in the state, they're still open.
Yeah.
But down here, people are a little bit more precautious.
Yeah, I can understand. And is it still pretty much locked down, or have you got some freedom now?
I think it's pretty much locked down here in Miami, and that's in the southernmost part of the state.
Yeah, cool. So Moon Destroyers you've just released a 5-track EP at the end of March called Maiden Voyage. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I mean, we've been getting great reception. Unfortunately, it came out at a time that it's difficult to promote it. But luckily, we still have video, and we have all these stations that have been promoting it. So a lot of people are home, so it just gives them something to listen to deal with the boringness.
So those who don't know you guys, you originally started in a band called Stallone with drummer Evan. Is that right?
Yeah, we were both. We met in Atlanta, and I was playing in a band called Monstro with some of the guys from Hell Yeah and one of the drummers from Danzig. And in between touring, I kind of wanted to do something locally. And Evan and I met, and we were improvising a lot. But then we developed a bunch of songs, and we just continued as an instrumental project. And we had pretty good live shows going around town. Unfortunately, we only played Georgia and Florida while I was still in the other band touring. Mm-hmm. But Evan joined Roll of Thunder, and we kind of put it on hiatus for a while. But we were both clear of bands, and we just called up each other and said to each other, "Hey, let's start this up again."
That's cool.
We had a good thing going, so
yeah, because it's an awesome EP. That's why I picked up on. That's why I wanted to chat to you and get you on the show. But I mean, you don't sing on it, so you got guests to come in and sing, haven't you? So you've got like Mastodon's Troy Sanders on the track Blue Giant, and you've also got Cynic's Paul Masvidal singing as well. How did they get involved with the EP?
Well, we were recording the EP. We kind of went into a rehearsal. We rehearsed for about 3 days straight. And we went straight into the studio, and we wrote all the music while we were in the studio, we were in the rehearsals and in the studio. And while the songs were coming along, it started sounding great, but we decided, yeah, maybe we should have a friend, sing on it. And the first person I thought was Troy. Since him and I were kind of close, we did a band together called Kill or Be Killed with some of the guys from Converge and Dillinger Escape Plan and Max from Sepultura, who's in Soulfly. He was in the band. So we did a little bit of Australian touring for the Soundwave festivals, and luckily he found a pocket, to be able to sing something. He's super busy with Mastodon, but he pulled through and he delivered this amazing vocal track on the song.
It's a great track.
So it definitely shines. We both work very well together. Thank you, man. And then when Paul came into the picture, I've known him since high school. He went to a school close to me, and I used to go see his Cynic. Cynic were around since he was like 15 or 16. And they were one of my favorite local bands. And of course, they went on to national fame and international fame. But we maintained a friendship throughout the years. So I asked him, Paul, would you mind singing on this? And, I really love what his vocals turned into. He went from like a death metal singer to a singer that had all these like ethereal tones. Yeah. Almost like, Perry Farrell did during the early Jane's Addiction albums. Also mixed with a little bit of Kraftwerk, the electronic vocals. So I thought it was super cool. And we talked about the track, exactly with those two influences, the Jane's Addiction and the Kraftwerk, robotic vocals. So he delivered the track within two weeks, and it was super cool. It was all like multi-layered, tons of beautiful delays, and it was just exactly what I was looking for the track. So
Yes.
I'm very proud of it.
It's very cool. And on the EP, the tracks vary in length. So you got your instrumental tracks, and those tracks like End of Time, I wanted it to go into a full song because all the elements were there to be a pretty cool track. You know what I mean? It was like, I wanted it to be like another couple of minutes longer.
Yeah, I think they're kind of like teasers, kind of like My Bloody Valentine used to have a little tease, or kind of like a song, like a song or a movement to segue into another song.
Yeah.
I think that's what we turn into. But, there's a lot of bands like the Beatles that come back to older melodies. Maybe we could turn it into something in the future.
Yeah. So, what are your influences? What are your personal influences, and what are the band's influences? Who do you get told you sound or like?
Oh man, my first influences were anything my mom would listen to. She was big into music. She was also a singer growing up, and of course, her favorite band it still is the Rolling Stones. And then once I started, I was in Venezuela one year. I was living there for a little bit. That's Venezuela, Caracas. And I saw a photo of Kiss, and I was intrigued. I didn't know what they were. I didn't even know they were a band. I just thought they were like monsters or something cool like that. And then when I got to the United States, a friend of ours had a 16-year-old son, and I was around 7 years old. And I walked by his room, and he was listening to music. So I'm like, what is this? He was playing Kiss. And then when I saw the album cover on vinyl, I actually recognized the band. I couldn't forget that look. So at that time, he was already getting out of Kiss, but he gave me his Kiss records. And I already had like 4 off with. I just flipped them over, and I just fell in love with the band. So yeah, that's a big influence. A lot of things about Kiss, the early Kiss, a lot of people feel that, most people don't know the early Kiss, how dark and how this crazy mystique they had. And then later on, I started getting to Sonic Youth and My Bloody Valentine. A lot of the British bands, a lot of the British psychedelic bands like Pulp and Blur.
Oh, cool.
And of course the Verb. I think the Verb has a lot of Jane's Addiction in them, the early stuff. So yeah, I think that's a big influence. I mean, I've been doing live playing, touring with heavier bands throughout the years, but I was like incorporating a lot of the melody, sense of psychedelic music.
So what
I think it makes it a little bit more interesting than just having heavy music. I think a good combination of the sweet and sour.
Oh, for sure. And what about the Moon Destroyers? Who do you get told that you are akin to and you sound like?
Oh man, you could hear elements of Floyd, Pink Floyd. You could hear some of the Jane's Addiction stuff, some of the Smashing Pumpkins stuff, a lot of the 90s stuff, because Evan's a bit of a younger guy, so he's very hip into like the cult, like early 80s cult, and he likes the White Zombies and stuff like that. I like more of the 80s, 70s style of music. So
what genre would you put Moon Destroyers into?
I don't really like genres. I've always liked the bands that.
If there's going to be
I always like.
Yeah, if there's going to be a playlist, what playlist would you belong to?
Oh man, anything that has either Voivod or Pink Floyd. It has elements of classic rock, but also just anything for the weirdos, the weird playlist.
So are you planning on releasing more tracks to accompany the EP, or are you going to be getting a full lineup to do an album, or are you going to be touring it? What's next for Moon Destroyers after hopefully the pandemic?
once we recuperate from all this, definitely going to write some more music before we head on tour, just to have a nice body of work to choose from, and cultivate a really cool live show. We're going to have different members come in and out of the band. It depends on their schedule. But, Evan and I are pretty much going to be the solid people behind the band. We're the main writers and everything.
Yeah.
So, right now we also put out an EP of demos that we had from the early Stallone days, from our early instrumental band. And that was kind of like a love letter for people that were home, bored, sick, and worried. So give them something to distract themselves with some crushing tunes.
Yeah.
So that just came out. That's also available. That's only online. It's not available on vinyl yet, but hopefully in the future it will be. So yeah, we're going to continue working on music.
Well, thanks so much, Juan, for joining me. Cool to chat, and good luck with everything in the future.
Thank you very much, and I can't wait to see all of you on that side of the pond.